What's up, everybody? It's your boy Dan. We're back again. Talk about some sad news from the cowboy country. We got to talk on it, man. It went viral today. Unfortunately, another viral beat, another viral loss for the Cowboys. This is my co-host.
Hey, what's up, family? This is your boy John. So grab yourself something to drink, sit back and relax. Let that be known.
Let that be known.
Yo, what's going on, man? What's going on today?
Let me set up for this, man. Man, we seen it. It's been viral. It's been everywhere. It's been on every platform, every social media platform.
Mm-hmm.
You can find it, and it's Jerry Jones going off on a radio host. It was a call in, I believe. Jerry called into the radio station, and
It's regular.
basically, the radio host asked the question. Basically, we all want to know, like versus accountability, or how do Jerry feel about what's going on, and what accountability does he take for what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry snaps on the guy, telling the guy that he isn't qualified to ask him that question. He isn't qualified to want to know, how does he feel about, the state of the Cowboys. And basically, I have you fired if you ask me something like that again. And I'm going to put somebody in that place that's going to ask me the questions that I want them to ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that this was so distasteful. It was so embarrassing. As a Cowboys fan, we already took an embarrassing L Sunday, and so I think Cowboys fan was still licking their wounds from that. And then to watch the owner of the Cowboys go on air and to basically power play a power trip on a guy for his livelihood because you have the power and authority of the money, and you're basically threatening the guy because he doesn't agree with you, or he asks you a question that you're not in favor of. And just because he asks you a question that you're not in favor of, you threaten to take his livelihood. And I just thought that was so embarrassing, and it was so distasteful. It was such not a man. Like, if he didn't agree with the question, I thought that, he could have just said, well, no comment, or we're trying to figure something out, or we're trying to still work things out, things of that nature. But to actually go at a guy, and this is the famous quote, like, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
And for Jerry to snap like that lets you know that things are a little bit more concerning in the house of the Cowboys, because to it was just, and this tells us a lot about his character as well. But what are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts?
Uh, yeah. I think it brought to light the delusion that he has, um, or in the pride and the narcissistic uh guy that he is. Just because you didn't want to answer some tough questions about decisions that you made or didn't make, or moves that you made or didn't make, and you threaten you know radio hosts jobs, um, rather than just answering the tough questions like your players do every week, and how they have to answer for actions that you did. That's low. That's cowardly. Um, that's not respectable. For sure. Um, and I understand. On their end, they had to kind of back up a little bit because that's their livelihood. They got families, and in a sense, they gotta you know kind of play ball a little bit. But for him to pull that card on them, and he does that radio show weekly. That same set
Hmm.
interview, he does it weekly with them. And so with the team that he assembled playing like trash, and he was selling it like it was going to be the next hot thing, and of course it wasn't. Be a man and answer up to what you done. Man up. That's what real men do. Win, lose, or draw. Right now you losing. Man up to it. Own up to it. Those are my initial thoughts about it. I mean, I know we're going to get into the interview, but yeah, those are my initial thoughts on it.
I think that is I think that it shows it really gives an insight of how some powerful people or elite people, when it has to do with like decision making or money, how they feel about people that they feel that are not on their level.
Hmm.
And if he went off on a radio host for asking him a simple question, which was not disrespectful,
Right.
it was a honest question, like, hey, how do you feel about the state of the Cowboys? How do you feel about you know what you have done and what you hadn't done?
Hmm.
You know, um, can you imagine how he feel about his own players? And it's evident because, and the reason why I say it's evident, because Jerry is like the only owner who's in the limelight, who's in the spotlight, and he constantly puts himself in the spotlight every week. He makes sure that he's seen, he makes sure that he's heard, and he makes sure that everybody know that the Cowboys is his team, that he's running the show, he's calling the shots. But
Facts.
when it's time to take accountability and have responsibility for the poor play we see or how poorly this organization is being ran, he tucks his tail and he hides from those kind of questions or for that responsibility, and he points at the players or he points at the coaches and he throws them under the bus for their lack of play or for whatever they done. Now they take the podium and they take responsibility and say, "Hey, I need to be better. I gotta figure it out. I'm not playing well." They take responsibility, but there's only one person in the organization who don't take any responsibility, and that's Jerry Dwayne Jones. And it's been like this for the past 30 years.
No, that's facts, man. Yeah, we see players week in and week out, win, lose, or draw. They get right up in front of the press. Uh, whether it's bad games, good games, just
I mean,
they get up
especially your
there
quarter. I mean, especially your quarterback. I mean, they tell your
hmm
quarterback a new one every day. I
every
mean,
day.
they might as well call ESPN the Dak Prescott show
Might as well.
because Dak Prescott is the one that's keeping those ratings up on ESPN. Dak Prescott and the Cowboys is what ESPN should be called because the Cowboys and Dak Prescott single-handedly keeps the ratings up on ESPN because it's popular to bash Dak Prescott. Now
No, that's
you have other quarterbacks around the league who's playing much worse than Dak Prescott is playing, and you hear not a peep out of ESPN about those quarterbacks. They give
no,
them grace.
that's facts. Shout out to Kenny, man.
What up, Kenny man?
Yeah, see my boy Kenny in the building.
Kenny got the new baby, so Kenny gonna be up tonight. We know he up.
Yeah, no, he up tonight. Yeah, talking about Jerry said that nobody's a better fit for a GM than him, anyways. Man, Jerry full of
He
it.
did say he did say that.
But he's full of it. That's what I say about that, man.
That sound like powder talking.
Straight off the boat of Colombia.
I know when Powder talking. I ain't saying he on nothing, but I'm saying that's what it sounds like. I ain't gonna put that on that man, but I know I
Check the,
know when
hey,
his
you gotta check them
powder
nostrils,
talking.
man. You gotta check them nostrils, man.
But I gotta check them nostrils. I'm not saying he on nothing. But hey,
But I understand.
when you make foolish statements like that, like how can you say that you a top GM, brother? You haven't went anywhere in the past 30 years. We haven't even been to a conference championship in the past 30 years. How are you a top GM in the league? You're not winning. That's what it takes to be a top GM is I put together winning teams. This is why people are questioning you. This is why people feel the way they feel about you. This is this is even why people feel the way they feel about the Cowboys.
That's
It's
facts, man.
because of our foolish owner says statements like, "Hey, I feel like I'm the best GM," or "I feel like can nobody, say that I'm not a good GM." This is why, because people look at it and say, "Man, well, you haven't won." That's why we say it.
Facts.
You act like we saying stuff that has no merit to it. Like this is why people are saying this, and now this is why Cowboy fans are really changing their tune because we see the foolishness going on, and we're saying, man, like we're not gonna win. Like we're not gonna win, not because of the talent. We're not gonna win solely because of how things are ran. And this interview was a clear indication of what type of coaches that Jerry Jones like. If he gets a coach that's not a yes man, there will be a problem within the organization, and that coach would not be there. Matter of fact, he would not ever hire him. That's why
Preach.
I knew that. That's why I knew that he was not going to hire Rex Ryan because Rex Ryan is not a yes man.
He gonna speak his mind.
He's going to speak his mind. If he doesn't agree with something, he's going to let it be known.
Facts. Pun intended. Man. All right, man. You ready to dive into this interview, man? 103 the fan, 105.3 the fan.
Yeah, yeah, man. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man.
So
And
we'll kind of
let's let the people see
so
and
we'll
hear.
we'll be stopping here and there and breaking it down and going from there. Don't get too triggered. Um, that's easier said than done because it's gonna be a lot of what comes out of his mouth is very triggering, very triggering. All right, here we go.
How long is this?
About 20 minutes.
Sheesh, Jerry was talking a bunch of nonsense for a long time. All right, let's hear it. Is it going?
What? What are sugar plums?
I can't hear it.
You say you can't hear it?
No, I can't hear it. I don't know if the people can hear it either.
Hey, chat, can y'all hear that? Let me see. Hey, chat, see if y'all can let us know in the chat if y'all can hear that. Okay.
Okay, I can hear it. It's faint now. You can turn it up
You
a
said
bit.
what?
I said I can hear it a little bit. You got to just turn it up.
Okay. My bad,
Have a look,
chat.
have a little grace with us, y'all. We trying to make sure y'all can hear this interview, man, so y'all can see what we're talking about. For those who hadn't seen it, or for those who hadn't heard it.
Heard it. Okay, just hold on. Bear with me a second. Okay. How's that?
You got louder, but we can't hear the video.
Huh?
I said you got louder, but we can't hear the video.
You say you got.
You
You say
got
you got.
louder, you did, but we can't hear the video.
You said I got louder.
Yeah, but we can't hear the video.
Okay. Hold on, real quick. Make sure this is right. Just hang with us in here, chat. We'll get this together. Okay. All right. Let's. Okay. Let's see. My bad, family.
A Atlanta meeting today with the NFL, and I will go and
Yeah.
come get back
Y'all good?
sometime
Can y'all hear
tonight.
that?
But
It's loud.
it's probably a good time to be laying low and get out of town. Could be dangerous out here.
How's that?
How much were the
Turn it down
birthday
some more.
plans affected Sunday night?
Well, of course, it's asking too much to get more than probably is realistic, but I had visions of sugar plums. I really never thought
Wait
that
a minute.
we couldn't
Sugar
move the ball on those guys, and that was quite an eye opener. But
behavior.
let me tell you this: I've had a lot of birthdays, and but more than that, I've had many great days, and every time you have one of those, it'll take care of about a half a year's worth of bad days, and so. I know this: the next time we have a win, which I hope it's 2 weeks from now, we're going to celebrate on this deal because those are hard to come by. When we get on the show Monday morning, I'm going to do some yucking it up because this just reminds you there's no giving when you walk out there.
Yes. Jerry, have you reassessed the gap? I know you were asked this after the game, but have you reassessed the gap between you guys and the top of the NFC?
Well, let's just put it like this: the gap that we're assessing is that one you saw out there the other day, and I think that tied the top score I've had against us since I've been involved with the Cowboys. So that's the gap I'm looking at. I don't look at necessarily the rest of it, and that gap needs addressing. And we knew coming in we need to have a special plan, and we thought we had the plan in mind, and we didn't execute it and didn't play well enough to execute any plan. But again, the big thing is that when our fundamentals what we're trying to do. We're trying to and counted on a pretty young offensive line to basically step up here this year and play at a level that, frankly, probably was higher than our the level we thought was a little more than could expect. On the other hand, these guys will get better. The places that would have concerned me the most are the places that we can get better across the board. We know our quarterback can have better days. We know our offensive line is getting better and will get better as we move into the against San Francisco. And we know that we can do some more work regarding our routes, regarding how we react when we're pushed, when we are pushed. Just almost ran up somebody's butt here, and driving in the car to the airport here. But the bottom line is that there areas that we can basically improve in. We have the ability to improve in, and that would have made all the difference in the world out there the other day.
So do
So
you
that's
still?
an answer to you.
Let's 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 stop right there, man. That's
It's right here.
huh?
He asked Jerry Jones. He asked Jerry simply a simple question. How do you think that you measure up against the rest of the elite talent in the NFC? Jerry says, well, I think about Sunday. I'm thinking about how we measure up for Sunday, how we got our tail whooped, and I think that we can play better. Didn't answer the question.
Mm-mm.
The guy's basically asking you, do you think that this team can be one of those good teams in the NFC? He's making up excuses of why we're not one of those good teams, which I have been stating. Our offensive and defensive line are not good. Hence to the reason why we can't run the ball. Hence is the reason why Dak is getting sacked 6 and 7 times a game. Hence why we can't stop the run is because the defensive line is getting pushed back 5 yards.
Facts.
For those who don't know football, if you can't win in the trenches, you will not win many games. Everything starts in the trenches, and what I mean by the trenches is the offensive and defensive line. If you can't win there, you're not going to have a lot of success. If the
Mm-mm.
offensive line is trash, your quarterback won't have time to throw. The running back won't have nowhere to run. If your defensive line can't win at the point of attack and they getting pushed back 5 yards, you won't be able to stop the run.
Understand.
The reason why it's hard for your defensive backs to make tackles is because the running back is running 5 to 7 yards without being touched. Now you have a 220, 30-pound running back running full speed and you're standing still. You're not taking that head on unless you're a linebacker.
Facts.
A little 200-pound DB isn't finna go head up with a 230-pound running back
Full speed.
running full speed and you're standing still. Normally, when a running back comes through, he's not running full speed because normally he's trying to break tackles from the defensive line and from the linebackers, and now the DBs can come in and rally and tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But now Montgomery, he's running full speed, especially at someone like Trayvon Diggs. He's running full speed. Trey Diggs is 190. Montgomery is almost 230. What do you expect for him to do? He is not going head up with him. He would get drugged in the dirt and
That's
probably
facts.
get hurt.
Now, especially somebody running hard as Montgomery does. All the things he was dancing around and stating, those are all the things that you chose not to address.
Bingo. It's the same things that killed us last year. We couldn't run the ball because
This been
offensive line was trash. It's been going on.
this has been killing us for. I'm gonna be graceful and just say the last 5 years. The
Man, yep.
same issue that's yet to be addressed. So I mean, he's already starting out, dancing with this with a simple question. Just own up to
Shucking and
it. Take some
jiving.
accountability.
Just say, hey man, we messed up. We thought the line was gonna be okay. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
okay. We thought the defensive line was gonna be this. It ain't that.
Facts.
That's how you address the question. That's how you get respect from your fans for owning up and say, hey, my bad. I messed up on that.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had enough. I thought the young guys were going to be able to turn a corner fast enough. The young guys are learning on the job. This is what
Yep.
we have. You have two very young guys and rookies on the offensive line who are currently learning on the job.
Mm-hmm. That's facts, man.
You have a quarterback who's running for his life, and you have a running back who has nowhere to go. And some of that has to do with play calling as well,
A lot of it has to
because
do.
man, we haven't ran a stretch play since '97. Everything is
Yep.
dive, dive,
Dive,
dive,
dive,
dive.
dive. Yep. Right.
Can we run a toss play? Can we run a stretch play? Please. Can you get
Counter
the lineman to, can
something.
you get the lineman to move? Can you pull the guards? Can you pull your center? Let your young center get out there and get the running people over. Make them comfortable.
Facts. And you having five on the line, and they coming with six,
7.
7.
And you talking about Dak, make a play, and Dak looking at two linebackers running right down his throat, untouched.
Untouched.
It was numerous of time last game where I'm telling Jonathan, I'm like, man, the guy ran in there, and I'm like, how did he get in so fast? And I went back and watched the replay. I was like, he wasn't touched.
Mm-hmm. Scot free.
Dak said Dak said
Scot
hut,
free.
and he was
Is he
just
right
in
there?
there.
Scot free. That goes back to scheme, man. You like you don't think these guys are gonna blitz at any point during this game, or you ain't watched film to see that these guys they're gonna blitz, and you just gonna leave a 5-man front up there,
Or
especially
even or
especially with the
or
way this line has been playing.
or even call out things that negates the blitz, like screenplays.
Mm-hmm.
If the linebackers are blitzing, if you hit a screenplay and y'all effectively pull it off, you're going to get a big gain out of it because all the players are going to be back there with Dak.
Yep. No, that's facts. Hey, family, here, make sure y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button on y'all way in. Thank y'all for being here with us as we
Appreciate y'all,
uh,
man. I'm
going through
sorry, man.
this.
I'm a little hot today, man.
So yeah, so just you know, keep rocking with us, man. We about to get ready to get back into um this
This interview,
interview,
man.
man. They
Y'all
Jerry
listen to this mess.
keep lying. Um,
Yeah, I told you. I told y'all he was a liar and a cheat.
all right, here we go, man.
Question. That's an answer to your question about the gap.
Yeah.
The question is how can we step back up there and get in a spot to compete against a Detroit? If we can do that, then And there's every reason to think, without totally reshuffling, which is impossible to do at this time of year, you don't. And but we have in place what I think can narrow that gap that we saw out there the other day.
So you still look at this as a championship level team with the expectations of winning a title this year?
I look at it as we played this Detroit team, which is one of the top teams. And we play a top team in San Francisco. The record doesn't show that today, but they are one of the top teams. We played a top team in Baltimore, and so we know we went up to the task against those. We've got to get better, and we've got to get out here. And the idea that you're going to make up the difference when we were wounded defensively, that still doesn't mean that your backup shouldn't come in here and really play well enough to make a game and really potentially get the game. But the idea that if you underestimate what being wounded on one side of the ball or the other, the idea of having complementary, quote, ball is not really valid if you think you're going to go out there and let them run through you, or whatever your circumstances cause them to be able to run and play at will. Then that really doesn't work, that you'll make up for that on the other side of the ball. That's impacting the other side of the ball by the definition of complementary football. So we can do better as we get out and as we go down the road here of making adjustments relative to how each side of the ball are complementing each other.
Cowboys owner and GM Jerry Jones.
Here we go again. Man would not answer the question to save his life. No accountability
at all.
This man, he flat out asked the question this time.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't beat around it. What I just told you a while ago, he flat out asked him straight up, do you think that this is a championship caliber team? Jerry states, well, we played good team. We played championship team. We played Detroit, Baltimore. We're going to play San Fran after the bye week. And he's like, okay, how did you fare? We got our tail whooped. Is how do we fare? Your answer should have been no, we're not. Now, if you want to say, well, at this time we're not playing at a championship level, but we hope by the end of the season we are. If that's what your answer want to be and you want to live in that delusion, cool. But for you to get up here and say the message you just said, talking about, well, yeah, we hurt and do this. Man, hurt teams, man, don't give up 50 points.
That's facts. Nah, that's
They
facts.
don't give up. Hurt teams don't give up 50 points. You just don't. You don't give up 50. You might lose bad. But you don't lose that bad. At times, Sunday, it looked like Detroit was playing against a college team. The Cowboys looked like a college team on some of those possessions. It looked like how a college team would look against a pro team. If you put a college team against a pro team, they wouldn't be able to run. They wouldn't be able to pass. They wouldn't be able to get a pass off. And the NFL team would be in there dancing and having fun, trying to get linemen to score, stuff like that. They'd be playing with them.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like Sunday. Dallas looked like a college team. You know how when you go out and you play football or a sport with your son or nephew or whoever, and you just playing around with them, and that's what it looked like. That's what it looked like Sunday. No, Jerry, no. We don't look like a championship team. Jerry, we don't look like a playoff team.
Nah, man, this is, as you stated, man, it's not so much a matter of injury, it's more so a matter of fight. And and we're getting close to starting to use that Q word. Like we seen back in I want to say 2010 with Wade Phillips, and the Q word is quit.
Yep.
We're losing, the belief in this coaching's scheme, the system, the GM. Um, is we're not the only team that's dealing with injuries, and these other teams they're still showing more fight. Even the worst team in the league, Carolina, they're still
Yep.
fighting. They're fighting, and there's no fight out there right now. At least these last few games here, from what we've seen on in the losses, there's no fight.
I I think it's a little fight. I just think that schematically, what we're trying to do, we're not built for. And so,
Facts.
like, we want, like, when we decide to run the football, Mike McCarthy is calling run plays, or he's strategizing the run as if we're a smash mouth football team.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the reason, if anybody want to know why the Cowboys are losing, it's this one reason. It's this one word of why we don't look good against quality teams. We're soft.
Preach.
If you're wondering what's going on, if you're watching the game, like we all are, and you're wondering and you're puzzled, like, man, what is going on? Like, we can't be this bad. Like, what is going on? Or you wonder, like, man, how come we can't never beat nobody that's good? Or, man, how come we never progress in the playoffs? How come we always getting bounced out early in the playoffs? You want to know why? It's because our team is soft. And we're soft where it matters. We're soft in the offensive line and the defensive line. When we play good teams, they beat us purely off of out physicaling us. They're more physical than we are. So when we play the
Mm-hmm.
49ers know if they come out and they're more physical, Dallas is going to back down. We don't match physicality.
No, we get hit in the mouth and we lay down.
We
We
are
lay down.
not physical. Our defensive line, not physical. Everything about the Cowboys is finesse. This is why the Cowboys can't compete with the upper echelon team. This is why Baltimore can come in and have almost 300 yards rushing on you because you're not physical. And then when you see
Facts.
Baltimore, and then when you see them play other teams, you're like, man, they're not doing that on them.
Hmm.
Like Derrick Henry might have a good day, but he ain't running like that.
Mm-mm.
Derrick Henry dang near had 200 yards on us.
Facts. He was close. He was close.
So
But man.
this is why we're not winning, because we're soft.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right, man. Let's get back into this, man. Again, thank y'all, family, for joining us, and make sure
Appreciate
you
it,
hit that
man.
like button and subscribe button. Leave a comment as well. We are interacting with you in the chat as well, so make sure you leave a comment in there. And I did put a poll in there: is Jerry a legit GM or a fraud?
If you
I put
answer,
in
if
y'all
you answer,
input.
if you answer wrong, I'm going off on you.
Uh oh. Let that be known. All right, here we go.
Joining us here on 105 through the fan. Jerry, when you were out at Senior Bowl earlier this year, you had said that the top priority for you, the two things that you were most focused on improving, were your run and your run defense. Why has there been
I
so
thought,
much statistical regression
yeah,
in two
I
areas you were
thought there
primarily
were a
focused
couple of others. Yeah, I thought there were a couple of others called really ponying up and getting Dak Prescott on a long-term contract, as I recall. And I thought getting C.D. Lamb was top priorities as well. And so that's a good definition of all in. Anybody want to argue with that? And so those guys certainly are a big part of the solution to where we are right now.
So why has that focus of the running game on offense and defense? Why do you think that's regressed so much?
Well, I think that it's a overall team aspect to it. But I would say our biggest problem out there yesterday or Sunday was that we got shoved around in the interior of the line, and we got thwarted with our run game. We got thwarted with our protection of Dak. Dak had to alter some of the things that his fundamentals, his steps, those type of things. Those aren't excuses. Those are what we saw when we've analyzed this thing over the last 2 days. And so we were disrupted. And but when you let one get away from you like that and get it going, and they had a good time at our expense out there, we've got to be better than that to be trite.
Jerry Jones here on the Fan. Jerry, I don't like to throw around because I can't judge it on the field. I never play. The word quit gets.
You or anybody else can specifically judge it on the field. There's 1,000 people that have got all the answers. It's fundamentally they're different.
Yeah.
They look at the same play. Bill Parcells has said, if you're on the different side of the ball, if you're a head coach, your defensive coordinator can bullshit you if that's not your side of the ball. So there's no given fact answer about how to handle all the moving parts. Now, this is the life we've chosen, and we got to be a lot better at handling all those moving parts than we were out there Sunday. That goes without saying. Totally unacceptable.
Jerry.
A bunch of bull. That's what that was. That's exactly what that was. You talking about signing Dak and CD when you could have got them last year for cheaper, which would have gave you more cap space. And then you fought them tooth and nail for them to get their deals. This
I
this
mean
guy
that's
this
an
guy
issue, but the biggest issue is what the guy said.
this guy here,
Jerry,
man.
you said you wanted to address the defense and offensive line,
And did neither.
and you didn't address nothing. You drafted rookies and you just plugged them in there as if they were going to play like veterans. And what they're doing, they're playing like rookies. Are they talented? Yeah, but they're rookies.
Yeah. Man, this this guy here, man. He
You could
never
have went
ceased
out
to
and got a
amaze me.
D tackle. Didn't get that.
Nah, he refused, man. He refused to go out and get
Mm.
some actual players.
And so fans think that, oh, let's go get a receiver. Oh, let's go get a running back. Oh, and I'm like, okay, you go get a running back. Who's blocking for him? Like Derrick Henry don't fix our run game
Mm-mm.
because we wouldn't be able to block for Derrick Henry. Do you realize when you watch Baltimore football, Derrick Henry runs 3 to 4 yards before he's even touched?
That's facts.
Do you realize our running backs are getting hit at the line of scrimmage? They don't even get a chance to cross the line of scrimmage before they're touched.
No, man. This guy, he overlooks well, I'm not gonna say he overlooks the details. He just refuses to, go by the details and put things in place. He just think we should come out there and just and have a all class, world class ball club, and you didn't put the work in to get the correct players in here.
Well, he knows the facts. He just refuses to accept the facts. Like he knows that he didn't make the proper decisions in the off season. He understands that he messed up. He just refused to accept it. Like, yeah, I messed up. I didn't do my job.
Yeah.
I didn't get the right personnel in here.
No, that's facts, man. Shout out to shout out to you, Ken. He right, man. He say he picks players like he's playing Madden on rookie mode. Is no rhyme or reason to it. If it's cheap, that's what he's gonna go with.
I mean,
Well, and then not even go ahead.
it ain't even about cheap. Like it ain't even about Jerry spending money. It's about Jerry not knowing what he's doing. Like that's what it gets down to. It ain't about like whether he gonna spend the money, whether he ain't gonna spend the money. Jerry do not know what it takes to build a team. And then two, Jerry has to move out of the way because he won't allow coaches to actually run the team.
Yeah,
Mike McCarthy has no say so.
his hands are tied behind his back. That's for sure. And shout out to you, Joshua Mars 22. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it.
Shout out, man.
Are you ready to get back into it?
Yeah, let's get back into it, man. Y'all listen. Yeah, man, y'all bear with us, man. Y'all listen to this foolishness, man, because we had to break down this interview, man, because it's just pure foolishness, man. To hear a guy that makes this much money, has this much power, get up and lie to the fans and lie to people
I
on a
want you to
week
go with that.
in, week out basis. And man, we gotta wake up, man.
Hey, man, calm down, man. Like I said, make sure you get yourself something to drink, man.
I got something, man.
Hey, was lack of prep or lack of effort a bigger issue Sunday?
Roll everything up, and take some of each. All of the things that you do to get your team ready, and all of the teams that, whether that be your classwork, whether that be your practice, roll all of it up. And they were able to expose in a negative way for us most of those things. You can have percentage improvement in all areas of putting a team on the football field, and you'll come up with a better result. We didn't play well. We made a lot of mistakes. We turned the ball over. We did all of the things that'll get really run out of the stadium, and that happened to us.
Jerry, you've made one in-season coaching change in your time here. That was back in 2010, and I know the records are different. You were 1-7 versus
and
3.
I won't be making any others during the end of the season.
So, what is different then about this year, the way the team is performing versus 2010?
We were 1-7 at that time, 1-7, and I think, as I recall, we'd gotten beat the week before for about the exact same score. We were on the road, but not at home. But about the exact score that we got beat Sunday, we got beat, and so I made the change, and we had one win. A little bit of difference here, man.
It is. What are your just overall thoughts, the pros and cons of in-season changes, as I'm sure you've weighed in the past?
They aren't good, and they usually are ineffective, and they just aren't good. And they've got to be, at that particular time, I did think it was the thing to do. I think it did produce a positive effect, but we'll never know, will we? Of what Wade. All Wade did was move over to Denver. He didn't become the head coach. He became the defensive coordinator, and was one of the few times in my 35 years in the NFL that I heard throughout the league that the one coach was responsible for them having the team, and that was Wade Phillips running the defense for Denver when they won the Super Bowl. Now, that was the coach I'd let go out of here just a few years earlier. So much for knee-jerking on 1-7.
Jerry, there's been a lot.
This guy here, man. So he said he's not going to do that again. What he did back in 2010, firing Wade Phillips. There's a lot of stuff that he's not doing. What are your thoughts, man?
I tell you the reason why he ain't gonna do it, because firing Mike McCarthy ain't gonna change nothing. No matter what coach you bring in, ain't gonna change anything. No matter who's the coach, because the coach isn't running anything. Jerry is. No matter who you bring in to be the face, Jerry's running the shots. Jerry's calling the shots. That's why changing the coach ain't gonna matter. If we pay attention, and I keep telling the fan, I want the listeners to know, there's been one common denominator throughout Cowboys football, and that's Jerry Dwayne Jones. We have had different coaches, different players, different quarterbacks, different everything. There's only been one mainstay, and that's been Jerry Jones.
That's
So
facts.
everything else has changed, but him. But he's not the problem.
That's facts.
He's been there. We say, oh man, we need a new head coach. Got a new head coach. Oh man, we need a new quarterback. Got a new quarterback. Oh man, we need a new receiver. Got a new receiver. Nothing still changed.
No, man, he's the one common denominator in all of this.
And the thing that trips me out, he says, the guy asked him, so, basically, are you gonna make any moves at the trade deadline? Jerry says no, because I don't think making a move to the trade deadline works out.
This guy here, man. Just just say you don't want to win. Tell us
Basically,
tell us that you don't want to win. This is this is let us know that you don't want to win without telling us you don't want to win. This is what this is.
you you mean to tell me you go trade for a quality player that he won't help your football team? That
Hmm?
if you go trade for a quality defensive tackle, he won't help you. Come on, man.
This guy's a joke, man. Shout out to Two Man Freeman in the chat. Uh, Shout out to you. Thank you for being here, fam.
Shout out, man.
Let's get back into this, man. This foolishness.
A lot of talk about execution. I think you mentioned it here already. If the execution has become a problem to the extent that you get losses like the ones against New Orleans and Detroit, why are those players still the right ones for your team?
Well, first of all, where are you going to go to get any players? Seriously, where are you going to go to get any players for the next week against San Francisco? Now, number one, I've seen these players. I've seen every one of them execute like you want the plays to be executed and do their job within the role. That didn't happen the other day, and we paid the consequences for us. but I've seen the players do it. I know we have outstanding personnel, very outstanding personnel. We just made our quarterback the highest paid player in the NFL. We just topped the receiver list charts. So we made our bed relative to how we're going to approach with our key people with the team. We were shorthanded out there on defense, but everybody gets shorthanded. That's really not an excuse in the NFL. Your depth should step up there, and you should be able, if you can, to compensate to some degree. You can't compensate for the gap, so to speak, that we had between the way our offense played and the way we were supposed to play. Now, I'm going to give Detroit a lot of credit for that. They came after us and got after us, and they put guys on top of every offensive lineman you had, and they came at it and put the kind of pressure that gave Dak a lot of problems and gave our running game a lot of problems. We've got to be able to handle that.
Jerry, I think the counter back.
Did this man just say what players? That is nobody out there that we can go get. Please tell me I heard that wrong. Hey, chat.
No,
Please put in the chat. Did I hear that wrong? There is nobody out there
man,
to
I keep
get.
telling y'all, man, the stuff that spews out of his mouth, man.
Please tell me that I heard that wrong. I mean, didn't the Jets just get Devontae Adams for a second round pick?
But this is the crazy part. Yes, you paid that. Yes, you paid that. Yes, you paid CD Lamb, but you did not pay the parts that makes those guys successful,
Facts.
which is the offensive line. CD Lamb is null and void if you can't block for Dak. If you can't block for the running back, don't matter who you paid. You didn't fix our problems. You said that you was going to fix the offensive and defensive line in the offseason. You didn't fix them.
Yeah, Nathan. This guy here,
Yes,
man.
your skill players are going to look trash because you don't have no one to block. The reason why Detroit looks so good is look how the offensive line is blocking. Jared Goff had all day in the pocket. Of course, somebody's going to get open if he's sitting back there for 5 to 6 seconds.
Facts.
This is the difference. This is why the running back is running so well. It's because he's running 2-3 yards past the line of scrimmage before someone touches him.
I mean, this guy.
Man,
This guy
it's the
here,
reason why
man.
we're doing. It's the reason why we're doing this video, man. Because I
Yes.
wanted,
Yes.
I wanted our listeners, and I wanted Cowboy Nation to hear the stuff that spews out of Jerry Jones's mouth, and the reason why we have been such a letdown team year after year after year is because we have this guy as an owner and a GM who's making decisions for the team and who has handcuffed this team because he wants things done his way, but his way is wrong and it doesn't work.
And refuses it. Refuses to change it.
And he refuses to change it or accept accountability for it.
No, that's facts, man. He just keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. Shout out to CKC. He says that's why Tom Brady, the GOAT, he sacrificed that pay for his team. Um, CKC, they could have
Cap
signed
money
Dak
ain't the
for the
problem.
cap money. We got cap money now. They
We can
could have
go sign
signed
somebody right. We can sign somebody right now. We
right
have that
now.
much cap. It ain't that he paid Dak a CD. it's like we have the money. He just won't fix it.
Facts. And then they could have signed him last year for even cheaper.
Could have signed him last year for cheaper.
So I don't blame Dak at all. If you want to play this
They
game, you're
could,
gonna play this game. You're gonna pay
yeah.
me.
Like if you want to string me out to my last year, Dak was top 3 in MVP voting. What did you expect for them to do? If you have a top 3 MVP candidate, what
Yep.
you think is going to happen? You're going to have to break the bank to keep him.
And the earlier the better, the cheaper.
And some even said that it was a good chance that he probably should have won last year because he had better numbers than Lamar Jackson.
Oops.
I'm sorry.
Oops.
I'm sorry to bust your bubble. I know y'all hate that. I'm sorry, but he
Oops.
had better numbers than Lamar. He put up better numbers. Lamar beat him rushing the football. Lamar played good at
Of
running
course.
back, but when it came to passing the ball, he couldn't hold a candle to that.
Mm-mm.
But it would have hurt the whole Cowboy brand if Dak hadn't won the MVP. Because if Dak gets an MVP under his belt, now it makes it hard for people to talk about him.
Mm. Mm.
It's a hot take. It definitely is. Had Dak won that MVP last year, it would have made a lot of people trash that campaign. It would have made them hard to do it because it's hard to trash an MVP candidate. This is why Lamar Jackson receives so much grace year after year. Let me remind some of y'all, Lamar Jackson is getting bounced out of the playoffs too. Lamar Jackson ain't winning nothing either. Lamar Jackson had a better football team than Patrick Mahomes. Lamar Jackson still lost. The Baltimore Ravens were a better football team outside of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Everything else the Baltimore Ravens were better at. And Lamar Jackson still lost. Josh Allen gets bounced in the playoffs. All these quarterbacks that y'all hold up so high, Joe Burrow bounced in the playoffs. No one in the NFL has room to walk around with that type of cachet unless you're Patrick Mahomes. He's the only one that's consistently winning. Everybody else is getting bounced just like Dak Prescott.
Mm-mm. Now let
All
them
these
tell
other
it.
guys that all these other guys ain't winning no Super Bowls. They losing too. They going home just like the Cowboys.
No, but they the MVP uh, candidates, man.
That's why I said it would have hurt the campaign. Had that won the MVP, it would have hurt the campaign. The only reason why Lamar Jackson gets grace is because he won the MVP. But Lamar Jackson is constantly losing every year too.
Facts.
Josh Allen losing every year. Joe Burrow losing every year.
No, they don't want to talk about that part, man. Shout out to Kenny talking about they're not America's team.
Oh, here you go.
Here he go, our resident Saints fan.
Let me tell y'all why. Let me tell you why the Cowboys are America's team. Because I hear a lot of people say, "Oh, they're not America's team." I hate that they call them that. This is why the Cowboys are America's team. And this is a hot take. Whether you love them or you hate them, you're gonna watch them. And I guarantee you that most people who aren't Cowboy fans can name a plethora of players on our team. and they know a lot of what's going on with the Cowboys.
Shout out to
This
you,
is why
bro.
they're
Shout out, sis.
this is shout out Bria. She gonna hold it down. This is why Cowboys are America's team, because they are much watched TV, whether they're losing or not. Dallas got blew out Sunday, and we still was the talk of the town. This is why we're America's team. We open up ESPN every morning with the Cowboy segment. This is why. It's popular. It's must-see TV. You can't help but to watch it. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's happening. This is why they're America's team. Because other teams got blew out Sunday too. We're not talking about them.
Hoops.
We're talking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys get bounced every year from the playoffs. Other teams get bounced too, but we don't talk about them. We just talk about the Cowboys getting bounced. Because Josh Allen got bounced last year too. Lamar Jackson got bounced too.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
I know all the quarterbacks won Super Bowls last year. Patrick Mahomes, all of them,
No,
they all won. No, they got bounced too. Everybody got bounced. It's just the Cowboys got bashed for it. And the reason why they get bashed for it is because people love the Cowboys. They love to hate them or they love to watch them. And that's why they're America's team. Because everyone knows the Cowboys brand. That's why. It's a blessing and a curse, but this is why.
It is. It is. Those tracks. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to the people watching. We're currently
Shout out
at
everybody.
14 viewers. 14 people watching right now. We appreciate you guys rocking with we're up to 19. Shout out to you
There it
guys.
Elevate.
Watching with us. Elevate. Let's keep it going. Make sure y'all share this. Share this stream with your
Share,
family
man,
and
and
friends.
leave y'all comments there, man. We'll respond, man. We'll respond
sir.
to you, man. We'll respond whatever questions you have, whatever comments, man. We'll interact with you guys, man. Leave those comments, man. We'll answer those questions too, man. Even the hard ones. I'm gonna
Yep.
keep it real with you too.
There you go. Let that be known. All right, let's get back into it, man. Let's see some more of this foolishness.
When you said where are you going to get the players, you can't get them this week, and you're aware of all the off-season topics.
Yeah, but what is your counter? What is your damn counter?
My counter
I
is
really want to know where you would go.
Custom, man.
Spicy.
Now, don't tell me about should gotten a guy in the off season.
why not?
This isn't a damn word argument. Just because I'm not arguing with you, I'm dealing with how we line up against San Francisco, not what I did wrong last week or last month or 2 months ago or 2 years ago.
Crash out begins.
If I really gave you guys a list of all the things I've done wrong over the last few years, you couldn't be on this program for the next 5 years steady and go over it. But every now and then you do some right things, and at the end of the day, you add it up, and the rights give you a better spot than the wrongs. But if you think of any minute right now, there'll be one Super Bowl champion. What do the others do wrong? There's one Super Bowl champion. And we want to be that champion. And I'm sure not throwing the towel in today because of what happened out there Sunday. But I'm not going to sit here and waste a lot of energy, a lot of time. Let's talk about what I should have done back in 1907 or 2017. Man, come on. I've got more time than that, and I actually don't even have time on this great show for looking back at decisions.
Okay. So, Jerry, 1970, a little different from this past off season in building the team we're talking about today, which there was a lot of criticism that you guys didn't add, didn't spend, and don't add and don't spend, and are not aggressive enough with some of the problems that are still haunting the Cowboys today that we see play out on the field. That's the point of talking about the off season.
I remember those criticisms very well. Okay, so what?
Or are they playing out to be accurate?
What's your point?
My point is, it
What's
seems
your
like
point?
my point.
Listen, let me tell you what I'll do. Let me tell you what I'll do about it.
He mad.
Boy, he ready to fight,
He
boy.
wanna, he ready to fight his old self. Need to sit down somewhere. He mad.
This man is ready to fight.
And the host, he ain't letting up. The host pushing the issue.
He on his neck. Shout out to Sean Sharif, man.
Shout out. He not letting up, man. He on his neck. Jared talking about football way back in the 90s.
This man talking about 1907. He like, man, I ain't talking
Talking
about
about when they were playing,
1907.
they had leather caps on back then, man. What you talking about? That wasn't no football, man. That was just crash dummy stuff.
Oh man, this guy here, man. As I said, man, the crash out begins. That he got too little too high for him, and he couldn't take it. Oh my
It's
goodness.
not it's not that he, you know, the fact that he can't take it is that like I told people last show, if you want to know what a narcissistic person is, Jerry Jones is a narcissistic person.
Facts.
He's a person to where he would do everything wrong and he will make every bad decision but find a way to put the responsibility on everybody else but himself.
Preach.
That epitomizes a narcissistic person. Like he can do no wrong in his eyes. And so the guy is trying to get him to take responsibility for the team he put together. Jerry's saying, "No, I'm not taking responsibility for this
I refuse.
because I refuse because I've had multiple bad teams. I didn't take responsibility for none of them teams either."
Just like I ain't take responsibility for the teams in 1907. I ain't doing it now.
I didn't, I didn't take responsibility for them teams back then. I ain't taking it now. I don't care what. I don't care how bad we suck. It ain't my fault.
This guy here and cuss this man and everything, man.
He started off cussing that man. Cussed that man out.
Oh man, it's. Shout out to the chat. The chat they starting to jump a little bit now. And shout out to Ali Jordan X, Trayvon Moses. Looks like he's a Texans fan. Got a Texans fan in the chat.
Shout out
Yeah,
to y'all, man. I'm in Houston. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all doing y'all thing this year.
y'all doing y'all thing. I can't even hate on y'all, man. Y'all doing y'all thing.
I ain't gonna hate. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I ain't gonna hate. If y'all balling, I'm gonna give you props.
Yeah. Then let's see. We got Proper in the chat. I guess he's a 49er fan.
Oh, good lord.
So we got one of them
Hey
in the
man.
chat.
Hey man. When we play y'all in a couple of weeks, man.
Take it easy.
Man, y'all be civil out there, man.
Don't-
Y'all
Leave
see
the
what
book.
we working with.
Leave the boombox in the locker room, man.
Don't come out there with no boombox. Tell Debo Samuel don't be dancing all out there in the end zone. Y'all see what we dealing with. Y'all see this owner we dealing with, man. Y'all see this mess.
Y'all seen
Y'all
it
hear it.
firsthand.
This is what we dealing with. And we're trying to win in spite of this.
No, it's facts.
This man said, "Yeah, I build bad teams, but I ain't taking no responsibility for these bad teams I built." This is what he's saying. Yep, I build bad teams all the time. I'm not gonna say that. This is what we just heard this man say.
It's crazy. No, Trayvon, he didn't get fired. He finally let up. We'll get into it. He finally let up. He was close to it though.
Yeah, he
Trayvon
kept
had
pushing
the
that issue.
radios get fired, but he stood down. Um, but let's get back into this, man, because it's starting to heat up now, and
Yeah,
I'm
you
and I'm
got
here
something
for
down
it.
there.
I will let us sit down and look at the decisions we've made over the last several years. Okay, I'll look at it. Now, if you think I'm interested on a damn phone call with you over a radio and sitting here and throwing all the good out with the dishwater, you have got to be smoking something over there this morning. I'm not. And I really don't. And I don't even want our listeners to listen to me. To talk about this is not your job. Your job isn't to let me go over all the reasons that I did something and I'm sorry that I did it. That's not your job.
Well, my
It's
job is to
So y'all
ask
get a
why.
job, or I'll get somebody else to ask these questions, man.
Jerry, we're trying to figure out why the
No,
team is.
no, I'm not kidding you. I'm not kidding you. You're not going to figure out it's what the team is doing right or wrong. If you are, or any 5 or 10 like you need to come to this meeting I'm going to today. There are 32 teams here. You're geniuses.
Jerry.
Okay? Y'all really think you're going to sit here with a microphone and tell me all of the things that I've done wrong and without going over the rights?
Well,
Now, listen, we both know we're talking to a lot of great fans and a lot of great listeners. And I am very sorry for what happened out there Sunday. I'm sick.
Jerry. We sick of you.
What you mean, man? You sick? You put it out there. You made the decision. You picked the players. You're the GM. What you mean? You very sick?
We're sick of you. This guy here.
Now, this man, this is what we went over at the beginning of the show. If you missed the beginning of the show, now this was a weak move by Jerry Jones to threaten this man's livelihood based on a question that you didn't like or based on a stance that he doesn't agree with you. So you threaten a man's livelihood because he doesn't agree with you or because he asked you a question that you feel like that you don't want to answer or that you don't want to be responsible to answer. But it's a justified question because you're the GM of the team. So you make the decisions for the team. So he was well within his right to ask you like about the responsibility of the team or the responsibility of what's out there on the field because you put that out there on the field.
Facts.
But you don't want to have no responsibility for it. So you threaten the guy's job, threaten to take his livelihood away, and man, that shows us about your character.
Preach.
Well, outside of football, just your character as a guy, as an individual, to threaten a man's livelihood because he asked you a question that you didn't like, and you wonder why, as a Cowboys, we're not progressing, or as a Cowboy, why we're going through the same cycle year after year, year after year. This is why, because of the owner. He's showing you what type of man he is. This is why you have an owner who likes to call shots but has no responsibility. And this is what makes the coaches and the players slaves on the field. Because now the coaches and the players, they have all the responsibility and no say so. My friend, you are a slave. If you have all responsibility and you have no say so of the matter, you are a slave to that situation. And that's what Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott and them are. They have all the responsibility and they have no say so about what's going on or what's going to happen.
Sitting ducks. Shout out to honorable mentions. Thanks for being here. Thanks for getting in the
Shout out.
chat. Uh, he said, as a diehard Cowboys fan, I will say this. At Okay, so I guess he was at the game versus the Lions. The Cowboys are bad on all three phases. We will not make the playoffs this year. Yeah, I don't see
Facts.
us making a. I don't see us making the playoffs this year either. Um,
Unless they bring in a whole new offensive defensive line, we not making the playoffs.
mm-mm. And proper, you got it wrong. He said Sunday was the worst day in Dallas since that one time in 1963. No, you didn't hear what Jerry said. Jerry said
You
1907. That was the
Jerry
worst day.
Jerry said he had a lot of worse days. He said he's not taking responsibility for none of them. He said I had a bad day in 1907 in 2007. He said he's not taking responsibility for none of it. I don't care if I pick the players. I'm not taking responsibility for it. He talking about
Oh man.
once they get out there on that field, they on their own.
Uh, Facts, Trayvon Moses. He talking about dude went back to slavery days. Facts. Yeah,
Facts.
we know where his mindset is. That's for sure. Oh man, just to threaten this man job like this.
He threatened that man
Man,
job over a question, a
that's
simple
right.
question, asking this man about him having responsibility for what's taking place out there on the field on Sundays. And Jerry tell him, well, you ain't got the right to ask me how I feel or am I being responsible for what's out there on the field. How come he don't have the right to ask you that? You make the decisions.
Facts. Take
You
our
called
money.
into the show. He's interviewing you. How come he don't have a right to ask the GM about the product that's on the field, about the players that's on the field? And then the fans, we have the obligation to be able to ask you too.
Facts.
We support the team. People are paying their money to go to the games, buying merchandise. Yeah, they want to know how come the team looks like it does. That's why I called him a liar and a cheat. Because he constantly cheats the fans out of a good team every year, and he gets on there and lie about the reason why we suck. We suck, Jerry, because you don't know how to put a team together. That's why we suck. We suck because you don't want to move out of the way.
Hey man, what did we say the other night, man? You know, he just had a birthday. He ain't had a lot of birthdays now.
Hey, man, I say it, man.
I don't say that, man.
He's
You
been
let that be
celebrating a
known in
long
sports,
time.
but everything can't be known. But you get what we're saying. Man. Let's
How
get back
healthy
into
is he? I'm sorry, Lord. Help me, man. Man, y'all pray for me over here, man. y'all, y'all pray for me, man. I'm trying to make it through this, man. Man, it's been rough. It's
man.
been rough, and it's been a rough season, man.
Oh man, we appreciate y'all being with us tonight, family. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Man, make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button, man. Make sure y'all tell a friend and tell a friend. Let's get back into this and to this spiciness here.
About what happened Sunday. Now, I'm not talking to these yahoos on the end of this phone. I'm talking to you, the fans that are listening this morning. And we can spend a lot of time going over zigging and zagging. One of the stupidest things I've ever done that anybody has ever analyzed is by the Cowboys. It was an idiot that did that. So idiot things can turn into good decisions. Okay? Smart things can turn into bad decisions. The facts are that when you make one, you don't really know whether it's going to be good or not at the time. So let's go ahead. I'm trying to answer your questions, man. You want some conversation this morning? You're getting it.
Jerry Jones here on the Fan. Jerry, you worried about fan apathy setting in?
Well, I'm not worried about fan apathy. If you saw the letters and things I'm getting, that's the last thing from apathy.
Cap.
You're seeing very, very keen, intense passion about what we're not doing and concern about what we're doing. And that's the reason that I love this thing, is because you have that kind of passion. I love the passion. And I'm nobody more passionate than our Dallas Cowboy fans. I'll assure you one thing, and I know you guys know it. I'm not afraid to make decisions. And I can live with anything that we're talking about as far as criticism about those decisions. What I'm going to worry about is whether those decisions can pan out in a positive way. You've got a lot of reasons why they don't. And you got a lot of teams up here looking around at some of the decisions they've made over the last few years. Just because everybody else is making bad decisions doesn't mean that justifies you making a bad decision.
You say you
So
don't.
We can go into this. I'm saying what I'm saying. Don't tell me what I'm saying.
Okay.
You listen to what I'm saying.
Jerry, why are you getting so mad at us? We're just asking you why the blowouts are happening, the historical differences at home. We're just asking about it on behalf of the fans, and you're getting real ticked off and mad at us. We're just
Can I tell you something, guys? I don't get mad at people that I can not be with if I don't want to be with. I don't get mad.
That's twice.
You're asking me for a response, and I'm giving you a response. We got to play better, and we got to play better at specific points. No, there's no looking for stepping out here and bringing in 20 new players between now and the bye. That's not the way it works. But I like the players that we have. You go around this league, and you will see a high recognition of the quality of players we've got. We should be able to not have happened to us Sunday with our players that we've got. Shouldn't have the highest paid quarterback in the NFL and not having have more production, but he's got to have blocking. He's got to have the routes run right. And the other thing he's got to do is it helps if he weren't playing somebody as strong as Detroit was Sunday. They were pretty strong. We hope we get a chance to know that
The more the more we play this, the more ridiculous it gets. This man said I'm saying what I'm saying.
This man said I was an idiot when I bought the Cowboys. He said I was an idiot when I bought them, and I make idiot decisions. I just hope they pan out. Chat, did y'all hear this? He said I was an idiot when I bought the Cowboys. I make idiot decisions. I just hope my idiot decisions pans out in a positive way.
Welcome to our pain. Welcome
If
to our
this
pain.
ain't if he ain't the most corrupt preacher, I don't know what.
Yeah, Trayvon, he was in the oil business before he bought the Cowboys. That's how he got his paper. This this guy here, man. You talking about wound up? This man here got wound up behind that. I mean,
That man got wound up and said a bunch of nothing.
nothing.
He got so mad he called his own self an idiot.
Well, that one part he got right.
I agree with him on that because the decisions he's been making. And this goes all the way back to the Jimmy Johnson days. Like
Facts.
he was hating on Jimmy Johnson so tough, and Jimmy Johnson was winning, and he got so mad that he wasn't getting no credit for those wins, and him and Jimmy start beefing because he's trying to let everybody know that the Cowboys is his team, but people was giving praise and credit to Jimmy Johnson for transforming that Cowboys team,
Hmm.
which was hot garbage before Jimmy took over.
God,
After the
that
Tom
man.
after the Roger Staubach days, the Cowboys had fell off. They wasn't good. We was trash
Fired that
until
man in the middle of a dynasty.
Jimmy Johnson came in. We started winning these Super Bowls, and he fired this man after winning Super Bowls
Back to back.
because he wanted credit. This is the type of guy we're dealing with here, guys. This is why the Cowboys want. This man would sabotage our own success for his glory because he wants the glory. So
Want some glory hole.
even if the Cowboys start to win, we know that he's prone to sabotage. This is the type of guy we're dealing with. This is history.
No, that's facts. Shout out to Sister Law. I see you in the chat.
Shout
Man,
out.
let's get back in this, man.
This is
Man,
ridiculous, man.
this is
I ain't never seen somebody call their own self an idiot.
idiot. Wow. Man, this guy here is something else. Fools with money.
Facts.
Those type of things I just mentioned works.
Jerry, did you have a problem with all the trick plays, pouring it on, the offensive lineman stuff that Detroit did?
That was a lot of fun that you're having. You can do that when you've got a lot of time. You can do some things defensively when you got your other team reeling. And I will tell you that they had a great time out there at our expense, and that's frustrating. So if you're asking me, was that fun or was it frustrating or was I aware of some of the plays, the trick plays? I think somebody said they ran the tackle eligible 4, 5, 6 times. Well, that's rare.
Facts.
You can have a lot of fun running those plays, but it's symptomatic of something that we can correct.
Jerry, Tyler Guyton didn't start this past Sunday. It was Tyler Smith, even though there wasn't an injury designation for Guyton. Is Tyler Guyton still the left tackle for you guys?
Yes, he just wasn't ready to go. Now, that's a good question. That's a sound question, one that I can answer. Okay, that's got meat on the bone. He wasn't able to go. He thought he could be ready. We thought he might be able to ready as close as game time. He wasn't ready to go.
Jerry, running back wise, Rico seemed to have his best game of the year against the Giants, but Zeke ended up with more carries. Why was that?
Well, he had a good one against Pittsburgh, too. And
I'm sorry,
so
Pittsburgh.
I thought that, no, that's all right. Don't be sorry. We played the Giants in Pittsburgh. That's not a mistake. But the point is that Rico is a violent runner. We like him as a runner. His biggest negative has been it's hard for him to stay healthy. When he's healthy, we want him out there as much as we can. And we'd like to save Zeke as much as we can. Now, that wasn't why we just had 16 yards at some point in the third quarter the other day, at some point, late for that much yards. That wasn't why we had it done. We were actually being stifled in the fronts in our offensive line. And they did a good job of stopping that run. And certainly we thought we could throw the ball on them in their secondary, and they proved that that wasn't the case.
Jerry, how impactful is this game coming up against San Francisco going to be on the remainder of your season?
It's the 7th game on the schedule. This was an impactful game that we had out here Sunday. That'll be another impactful game. If you look at these teams that we're playing ahead, all of them are very capable of winning games in the NFL, capable of winning them against us. We're capable of winning against them.
I think we're all good, Jerry. Thank you for the time and have a good
Great
flight.
guys. All right. Y'all have a good day.
There you have it, folks.
We just watched 20 minutes of BS. That's what we just watched.
There you have it.
If you want to know what a rich con man look like or sound like, you just heard one.
Slick like oil.
He is conning the mess out of us.
Fast talking. And if you call him out on it, he really try to
This
get you
man,
fired.
this man, this man asked you a specific question again. How come Zeke got more carries than Rico? Instead of you answering the question, you get in there talking about, well, he a violent runner and he ain't healthy. And Rico was healthy to play. How come he didn't get the carries?
Especially after the game he had coming off of playing Pittsburgh. I think that was like the best
And,
game of his career. He had a career
and
game.
this is a better question. How come we keep running out of the shotgun?
Everything is out the shotgun.
Everything we do is in a spread formation. When we had success against Pittsburgh, we ran out of the I formation. We put a fullback in the game, and we had success running the football. And then this game, we go back to the spread.
No, man, that's crazy. After hearing this interview, I'm
That's
still trying to
wild,
figure
man.
out how we have 15% of the people that voted. I'm
Who,
sorry,
who,
17%. Uh, I'm sorry, 7% of the people that voted is Jerry a legit GM or a fraud, and they chose legit. That's still too high
man,
for me.
why y'all trolling? Who is that? Why y'all trolling us? Y'all must be San Fran. Y'all San Fran fans, huh? Who doing this mess? Come on, man. We gotta do better than this. We gotta wake up, man.
You gotta open your eyes. Gotta open your
We're
eyes.
not a
This
good football team, man.
at all.
And the reason why we're not a good football team, guys, is because of our owner and GM, the players he puts out there in the field, or I should say, the lack thereof.
Hmm.
Like it's getting to the point, man. We deserve better as a franchise, man. We're the best fans. To me, we're the best fans in the NFL. We travel all over the country with the team. No matter where we play, it's gonna be a buttload of Cowboy fans in that stadium. And to have fans like that constantly hold this team down, even when we suck, like, and this is what we get, like, and then we can't even get a clear explanation of why we look the way we look.
No, that's facts. This is the root of why we're not winning anything anytime soon. That's the root of it.
Yeah, so might not win another game.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna.
After after what we seen in Detroit, dude, we
I
didn't
mean,
score a touchdown,
no, we didn't. We didn't.
and our defense almost gave up 50 points.
Facts. They didn't punt at all.
I, they punted,
They
but
didn't
when
punt
they
at all.
punted, they punted, but when they punted, it didn't matter.
Well, one time,
They punted like twice.
I think it could be no more than twice. I don't even
They
think it was
punted. They
twice.
punted. They punted like twice. But when they punted, like I said, when they punted, they was up by so many that it didn't even matter. When they punted, they was already up like 3 or 4 touchdowns. That
Yeah.
the game was already out of control. So it didn't matter if you was making them punt.
No, man. This. If any other Cowboy fans was wondering why we can't make any progression and to be in a serious Super Bowl contender team, there you have it, folks.
This is why we let y'all hear that audio clip of Jerry Jones so that you can hear why the team is in the state that we are in. Because he clearly tells you, I make bad decisions. I make idiotic decisions. I'm hoping they're gonna pan out. This is what our GM said. The GM, for those who don't know what that is, the general manager, he's generally the guy that goes out and get the players.
Assembles the rosters.
He's in charge of personnel. So this is the guy that says I make idiotic decisions. I just hope it pans out. Like this is the guy that goes and draft 2 rookies to start on the offensive line, and he's hoping it's going to pan out.
Pan out.
Like that's an idiotic decision. That's an idiotic move to make, to draft 2 young guys and then hope they're just going to work, and then pay your quarterback $60 million and say I'm gonna give you 2 rookies to protect you.
And then up in
And then
arms that it doesn't work.
not only up in arms, not only is he up in arms, but he doesn't want to take responsibility for it.
Mm-mm.
He doesn't want to say, you know what, that was a bad call on me.
Just like he did in 1907. He ain't taking for that. He ain't taking up for that.
Man, Jerry, full of it. He full of it, man. We appreciate you guys for being here with us, man. We appreciate you guys for checking this out, man. We just had to talk up on this today, man. We had to touch this, man, because I'm
Thanks.
pretty sure all Cowboy fans are still feel some type of way about what they seen Sunday, man. It was a brutal beating, man. Not only a brutal beating, man, but it was embarrassing. Um,
Thanks.
because nothing looked good Sunday. Nothing looked good. Like I said earlier on in the show, it looked like an NFL team playing a college team.
Facts.
They was out there playing on us. Like so,
Yeah, man. This this
the
is where
only
we at.
way, only way they can reel their fans back in is to go in and beat the heck out of San Fran.
Not
They do
happening.
that. They do that. They have the fans back on. But I don't see it happening.
Not happening.
I'm just praying that it's not another beatdown.
I just hope it ain't a 50 piece.
I hope they don't put up 50 on us.
That's my only wish. Which you know how sad that is? That we have to wish that they don't score 50 on us.
Man, they scored 50 on us in the playoffs. Green Bay put up 50, and Green Bay ain't got no high-powered
Our
offense.
power offense. Mm-mm. You got the genius over there in Shanahan.
You don't even need no genius.
Well, I'm just saying, but he's over there, he know how to dial up plays. But
You don't even need a genius. Like I said earlier, if you out physical the Cowboys, you will dominate them.
mm-mm-mm.
The Cowboys are soft.
It is not looking good, Cowboy Nation. It is not looking good.
It ain't looking good, man. In the chat, man, I want y'all to let us know how many games you think the Cowboys are going to end the season with, man. Give us your thoughts on that, man.
Yeah,
I
put your
personally
predictions.
said I personally said 7 to 8 games max.
I said
Uh,
7.
but let us know. I think that we can steal one from somewhere because Jerry
Mm-mm.
Jones like to steal. But
We don't like to fight, man. And if we like to fight, I will give it that, but we don't like to fight. Uh, yeah, but make sure y'all put y'all predictions in the chat, man. And we appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. We still sitting at about 18 viewers right now. Just get them likes, so let's get them likes to match the viewers. Um,
We appreciate
man,
y'all.
you got any final thoughts, man, before we wrap it up here, man?
Man, before we wrap it up, man, um, we appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in, man. Make sure you like, make sure you share it, man. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hang in there, Cowboys, man. Um, we in dark days, man. It's gonna be dark, and I don't see no light at the end of the tunnel. Um, Hang in there. Keep your head up. Stop buying that cowboy merch. You know, don't buy no more
Facts.
cowboy merch,
Don't
man.
buy no more.
Until we can get better product on the field, man. But hang in there, man. We'll let you guys know, man, when we have another live show, which will be pretty soon, man. We're doing all things sports, man, especially on the Cowboys and the Mavericks. And I hope it's in the Mavericks, man. They went to the
That's all,
finals last year, man.
that's all we
They look
got.
like they want to win, man. That's all we got in Dallas. Hold tight. But man, we appreciate y'all.
Most definitely. Yeah, thank y'all again, man. Cowboy Nation, uh, stay strong, man. Stay strong.
It's a
Even
goddamn
even
joke.
even in this side of this, it's very unpromising, and but we gotta stay strong, man. Um, Also, one thing I did want to um reach out as well. Put in the comments. We're trying to come up with a name for the family. For the Let That Be Known family. If y'all got any suggestions, I can. Tomorrow have a good one, Saints. Yeah, I y'all the same boat we in. But if y'all got any
Yeah, man.
names
Y'all
or
y'all
suggestions,
losing too.
y'all just let us know. Also, like, share, and subscribe with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Uh,
Uh, um, but also, pretty soon here we'll be on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well.
for
Um,
sure.
but yeah, man. Like I said, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. Going through this foolishness. Um,
We're gonna be here, man, every step of the
we'll-
way, man. We gonna
every
document
step of the
all the
way.
foolishness. Just tune in, man.
Just tune in, man. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get all the updates. But thank you again for Let That Be Known, and we are out. Peace.
Peace out, everybody.